They say one night can change everything, but I never believed it until that night. The night I realized that love isn't always what you think it is. Sometimes, the person you sleep beside every night is a stranger you never really knew. My name is Elena Carter, and for 12 years, I believed I had a perfect marriage. We had the house, the laughter, the pictures on the wall that made people say, "You two are made for each other." But the truth behind those photos was far from perfect. It was cracked, quiet, and painfully hollow. It started small: missed dinners, late nights at work, the sound of his phone buzzing under the pillow when he thought I was asleep. I told myself it was stress. I told myself he still loved me. Because that's what we do when we're afraid to face reality. We decorate lies and call them love. His name is Michael. He was everything a woman could dream of. Tall, confident, charming. He had this way of making people believe he was the good guy in every story. And for years, I believed it too. But one night changed everything. It was a Thursday in November. Cold, quiet. The kind of night when the world feels still, but something inside you starts to tremble. He said he was working late again. I didn't argue. I just nodded, smiled, and watched him leave, his car disappearing into the fog. I remember lighting a candle in the living room. The scent of vanilla filled the air, mixing with the sound of rain. For the first time in a long time, I sat alone, not as a wife waiting, but as a woman thinking. Something inside me whispered, "Check his messages." I don't know why. Maybe it was instinct, maybe it was pain. All I know is my hands were shaking as I unlocked his laptop. The first message I opened shattered the illusion I had lived in for years. "Can't wait to see you again tonight. Same place." A woman's name followed the message. Someone I didn't know. Someone who called him love. My vision blurred. My heart raced. I scrolled further. Pictures. Messages. Laughs. Every word screamed betrayal. The clock struck midnight, and I sat there, numb, staring at the man I thought I knew. 12 years of memories turned into questions I could never answer. When he came home later that night, I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just looked at him and smiled. "Did you have a good night?" I asked. He froze. His eyes darted toward his phone, then back to me. And in that second, I knew he knew. The silence between us said everything words couldn't. Part 2, the breaking point. For the next few days, I lived in a strange reality, pretending everything was normal while knowing my marriage had already died. He tried to act like nothing was wrong. He kissed my forehead in the morning, brought me coffee, talked about work. But behind his calm, I could see the guilt dancing in his eyes. And me, I played along. Because sometimes silence is the loudest weapon. One evening, I packed a small suitcase, not for him, but for me. He came home, saw the bag by the door, and asked softly, "Are you going somewhere?" "Yes," I said. "I'm going back to find myself." He laughed, as if I was being dramatic. "Elena, don't be ridiculous. You're overreacting." That word, overreacting, burned in my chest. Women are always told they're too emotional, too sensitive, too much. But that night, I decided to stop being less. "I know everything, Michael," I said quietly. And then I told him the truth I'd held inside me for days. Every word, every message, every lie. He didn't deny it. He didn't even apologize. He just looked at me with that same blank expression and said, "I didn't mean to hurt you." But he did. Not with his betrayal, but with his indifference. That was the moment I realized the opposite of love isn't hate. It's apathy. When someone stops caring whether they hurt you, that's when love truly dies. Part 3. The night of truth. I spent that night sitting in the living room again, just like before. The same candle flickered on the table, casting soft light on the walls. But this time, I wasn't broken. I was becoming whole. I thought about who I used to be before I became someone's wife. The woman who loved painting. The woman who dreamed of traveling. The woman who laughed easily and believed she was enough. Somewhere along the way, I had buried her under the weight of someone else's expectations. But that night, I dug her out. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need to prove anything. All I needed was peace, and that began with walking away. When morning came, I left. No note, no goodbye, just silence, the kind that feels like freedom. Part 4. Rebirth. It's been 3 years since that night. People often ask me if I regret leaving. I don't, not even for a second. Because that night, the night that destroyed my marriage, also gave birth to me. I started painting again. I traveled to places I'd only seen in dreams. I met new people, made new memories, and learned that love isn't supposed to shrink you. It's supposed to help you grow. Sometimes I still think about him, not with hate, but with clarity. He was my greatest lesson. He taught me what love isn't. And now, when I sit by the window on quiet nights, I smile at the woman in the reflection. Because she survived. Because she finally understood that sometimes losing someone isn't the end of your story. It's the start of your truth. Ending message. If you're listening to this and you're trapped in a love that feels one-sided, please hear me. You don't need to beg to be seen. You don't need to shrink to fit someone's comfort. The night you find your courage will be the night your life truly begins. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to TrueTales Hub for more real stories that move your soul.